We have veterans who are very...
Yeah, I'm sure Aaron here saying fart sniffer was directly contributing to your security detail, Jacob. Alright, let's do the second part of Oki's Psychopath video, and then we'll finish off with something I've been wanting to watch for a while. But I really want to finish this story because this was a pretty wacky and goofy one.
I could give him a call and I could ask him some questions. I always have questions for him. But that's your call, of course.
Are we prank calling? Hello, is this Pizza Hut? Is your refrigerator running?
Hey, is this Mr. Wool?
This is he.
Hey, what's up, Jacob? This is Zachary Fisher with Salon, as you know. I'm actually here with a friend named Oki who runs a pretty big YouTube channel, a pretty popular YouTube channel. Oh, he just hung up on me. Let me call him one more time.
Yeah, it must have just been bad reception.
The number you have reached has been disconnected
Is it
or
on
is no longer
Gabagool?
in service.
Wow.
Please check the number and try your call again.
Okay.
Secret space
Unfortunately,
program?
what you just saw was the closest that I came to speaking with Jacob Wall. Although I've tried everything that I could to contact him, I understand that I can't force him to speak to me if he doesn't want to.
Cheesecake?
However, I was able to speak to several people who've spent years covering Jacob Wall, which gave me a lot of insight into his character.
Wasn't here last time. Can you catch me up on the lore? Yeah, this is the story about Jacob Wall and Jack. This kid has been a scammer since birth, and his father was a prolific like lawyer. So he's always had money and was able to do a lot of really interesting scams, like with what was it called? What did he call it? It was a hedge fund, but he had a cool name for it. It was like, what was the name of his hedge fund? Anyway, he ran a hedge fund scam when he was like 15. Through his dad, he was able to meet like Donald Trump and shit, which gave him more like legitimacy to people to scam. He was also able to get a lot of money, and then just a whole bunch of shit. Basically, this kid was born to scam. Jack, probably one of the goofiest weirdos I've seen in a minute. He also does a lot of goofy shit. But what makes them super interesting is they started a career of schmear campaigns, but like in the worst way. So the one from last time is they hired, I think it was a male escort, to pretend like Elizabeth Warren scratched his back. And they had this whole press conference where he takes off his shirt to show scratch marks on his back. And even the dude was laughing about it. So it's just a really interesting story. I just want to see where it goes.
So who are these people that I interviewed? Part 1 included interviews I conducted with a hedge fund expert named Mark Meelan throughout summer of the Daily Beast. Since then, I have spoken to Zachary Patrizio, a journalist for Salon, the editor-in-chief of News to Share, Ford Fisher, the unnamed person behind the Jacob Wall Report Twitter account, who asked me to obscure their voice, and the host of Pensive Politics, Christian Watson. Before speaking to them, my theory about Jacob Wall was that he behaves the way he does only because it garners him attention and fame. Also because he's addicted to going trending on Twitter. Here's 2 clips where he says so himself.
Your life aspiration, you say, is to be rich, famous, and I quote, attended to by the public. What does that mean, Jacob?
Man, this guy kind of looks like
want to be famous.
this guy, but a little more Chadley.
It makes me feel so happy. It's like it's like community. All right.
I want to be trending artist. What can we do to go trending here?
Okay, so
if I'm not trending, I'm not happy. It's like I have. It's
yeah, somebody else just agreed with.
Somebody tweeted my quote about the lion. That's great.
I mean, I think he loves playing the heel. I think he loves people just like driving people crazy. But at the point where you're opening yourself up to lawsuits, where you might go to prison.
He is just the absolute maximum of any publicity is good.
I love that kind of silhouette shit, like UFO things.
He cares who he hurts along the way or what he has to do to get that publicity.
I would say minimizing it to the attention thing, though, I think there are a couple other layers, right?
Still, I was bothered by the notion of cataloging all of Wall and Berkman's bogus smear attempts and giving them attention by doing so.
The obscured person
I didn't really have this concern
more
when
like
I
Kevin
made the first
Spacey.
video, since it was largely focused on Wall's financial crimes. So I asked them the question, why cover someone like Jacob Wall?
Sure, no, absolutely. I think it's important to remember that Jacob, while he does want attention, that it's important to cover these things because they are making it into the mainstream. We would potentially see.
We also scammed a lot of money from
illegal activities that just
ordinary people,
right?
But just because someone wants attention does not mean you should deny it to them.
if what they're doing warrants attention.
Or if it's entertaining.
So if someone is just being
like a laughing stock
for a very empty or meritless cause, okay, ignore them. Don't give them don't feed the fire. Possibly impact a candidate or
I don't think Wool could do that.
Life or someone of non-importance's life, then you need to address it. Because if you leave it ignored, you could possibly have catastrophe on your hand.
What you're about to watch is the product of the most frustrating experience I've ever had while making a video. I came so close to scrapping this project many times, but I finished it for 2 reasons. First, because I didn't want to let the people who enjoyed part 1 down, and second, because I believe it's important to raise awareness of how people like Jacob Wall and Jack Berkman operate. Last time we left off on November 1st, 2018. Wall and Berkman's Robert
we didn't even get up to modern day.
Are you both prepared for federal prison?
No.
And they were pretty much laughed out of their own press conference.
Let me tell you that. I think Jacob is a child prodigy that has eclipsed Mozart.
Agreed.
You can't even open an E-Trade account.
Despite that,
Jacob Wall got throw that guy out. Can we throw that guy out, please?
Attention.
Excuse me. Get him out of here.
Are we trending? That's the real question. Are we trending? I'm sure we're trending.
Only 2 weeks later, he was trending on Twitter once again. This time it was due to his strange clash with the equally attention-starved American attorney, Michael Avenatti.
Subs animator.
I'm not going to get into the details, but Jacob, if you're watching, I'm coming for you.
In March 2018, Michael Avenatti received international media attention for representing porn star Stormy Daniels in a lawsuit against Donald Trump. Stormy Daniels signed a non-disclosure agreement and accepted hush money to remain silent
Man, that was 4 years ago now?
with the former president. Avenatti sued Donald Trump on her behalf to release her from her NDA. Soon, Michael Avenatti was everywhere. As Matt Taibbi of Rolling Stones magazine notes, Avenatti had 254 cable appearances in 2018. Avenatti soon became a presidential hopeful, the Democrats' very own attack dog and answer to Donald Trump. His tough guy posturing could be seen in his tweet announcing his run for president, which ends with #FightClub. However, Avenatti's Christ-like status...
What was that second one? Was the second one barista? I'm running for president, and as president, I'll open a fight club and a Starbucks.
#FightClub.
Oh, Basta. Oh.
Then Avenatti was arrested for domestic violence on November 14, 2018, after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. LA prosecutors declined to file domestic abuse charges.
That's his girlfriend?
Minutes after
Holy
Michael
shit,
Avenatti's domestic violence arrest was announced, Jacob Wall tweeted, "Surefire Intelligence strikes again," suggesting that Surefire Intelligence was behind Michael Avenatti's arrest. "When we are fully exonerated, I am coming for you," Jacob Wall, aka Surefire. Instead, he claimed that an associate did it on his behalf, and added that he thought it was funny. He then tweeted, "I just filed a police report about Michael Avenatti's threat. Thank you to the
what a coward
of law enforcement."
Fight him, Jacob.
Michael Avenatti was eventually found guilty on February 14, 2020 on 3 counts of attempted extortion in an unrelated matter involving the sportswear company Nike. No one paid much attention to Jacob Wall for the next few months, a fact that must have eaten away at him. To celebrate the new year, Jacob edited together a 31-second YouTube video of well-known broadcasters saying his name, simply titling it Jacob Wall, and adding to the description, 2018 was a great year for Jacob Wall.
Jacob Wall?
Jacob Wall.
Jacob Wall. Is that how you pronounce it? Jacob Wall.
Jacob.
What a good year for Jacob Wall, though.
Wall is behind the allegations against Avenatti himself.
If I was Jacob, I would not be sleeping well at
Wall. Okay, who is Jacob?
Jacob Wall.
That something big was coming, and Jacob Wall.
He's a guy named Jacob Wall.
Did Jacob Wall
teamed up with Jacob Wall, a sort of equally notorious young.
When do they do the BDSM stuff?
Noticed went unfulfilled during the first month of the year. But finally, on February 11th, 2018, Jacob Wall caught the buzz he was looking for after starting a petition to remove Ilhan Omar from the House of Foreign Affairs Committee, which gained 270,700 signatures.
Damn, he had a huge petition.
Capitalizing on the hype, he teamed up with convicted felon and former Stop the Steal spokesperson Ali Alexander, as well as Laura Loomer, who is best known for handcuffing herself to the doors of Twitter HQ in protest of being banned from the site. The trio traveled to Minneapolis claiming that they would expose Ilhan Omar on the unproven claim that she married her brother. Ilhan Omar is a politician serving as United States representative of Minnesota. Rumors persist that she married her brother in order to sidestep immigration laws. Omar married Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi, a British citizen, in 2009, and the two separated in 2011. To date, there has been no documentation proving or disproving that Almi is Congresswoman Omar's brother. Omar has called the speculation illegitimate and disgusting lies. Jacob Wall's investigation of Ilhan Omar was as farcical as you'd expect. Along with Ali
I
Alexander
want to see his BDSM stuff.
He traveled to Minneapolis, tweeting and live streaming his every move. According to Jacob, Cedar Riverside, Minneapolis was a no-go zone full of Antifa and jihadists who wanted to behead, bomb, and murder him.
We were afraid that we were going to be tailed. We were afraid that Ilhan, the jihadi Omar, would send somebody after us and tail us.
Let's not mince words here, you guys. Ilhan Omar would love nothing more than to
How is the quality so bad?
Ilhan Omar would love nothing more than to watch.
This kid's like a multi-millionaire. You don't have an iPhone?
To believe Jacob Wall's description of Minneapolis, you'd think that he was venturing into the Battle of Fallujah.
And so I feel pretty good about our security situation because you guys have funded us through jihadilhan.com. We have veterans who are very...
Yeah, I'm sure Aaron here saying fart sniffer was directly contributing to your security detail, Jacob. Man, what a great community. He gets, what, like 4 messages a stream? And one of them is fart sniffer? Fuck yeah, you really built like a great like network here.
Competent, career military professionals that know what they're doing, that are going to keep us safe.
Bet your dog is boning you. Wow, this is... what a lit community.
Keep us from being slain.
It's actually hilarious how much Jacob tried to paint Minneapolis as the caliphate or something. Here's one of his tweets. Just left a no-go zone in Minneapolis. One of the friendly local Somali men asked me, "Are you trying to get killed?"
What? Now, if you're not familiar with Minnesota, you don't know how this works, but the Islamicist forces here have taken over sections of the respective police departments in almost every area.
They have Sharia police in Minnesota now. There are men who walk around in orange vests that say Sharia police in some of these Somali communities, and they are enforcing Sharia law.
Although they claimed to have armed guards, there wasn't any proof that they did. It was clear that they were lying about it, and even Jacob couldn't help but laugh when asked about it on a live stream.
We've got a top-notch security team here to get us around, get us from point A to point B. They're right here and right here behind the camera. You can't see them. And we've been going from point A to point B in convoy, you know, armored cars, you name it.
Ben Beazle and Dwayne
security professionals. And as
Johnson.
You can see,
fuck, I blew it.
They don't exactly
They're not real.
look professional. I mean, this guy, look, this guy's wearing fucking Crocs. Jacob Wall starred in a documentary shot by a media outlet called Culture. I really want to show you clips from this documentary, but I'm fairly certain my video will be copyright claimed if I do.
Chevrolet.
You should watch it though, especially if you want to see Jacob Wall, Laura Loomer, and Ali Alexander aimlessly walk around Minneapolis with Hans Zimmer-esque music blaring in the background.
Sounds intense.
Jacob hyped up this documentary as something that would expose Ilhan Omar, but it didn't reveal anything at all. The scope of their investigation amounted to knocking on her office door and leaving when no one answered.
We had a leftist today who's a diversity coordinator.
Can't say they didn't try though.
Shoot us, and apparently has some idea of where we live because a leftist lunatic, quote-unquote, lesbian activist put our location out there.
Oh yeah, I almost left out the best part. Jacob files a police report against someone he describes as a gay Hispanic diversity coordinator who he claimed threatened him on Twitter. The diversity coordinator was a complete fabrication. Jacob was the one behind the account. He made it up to threaten himself and used a photo of a Minnesota realtor named Aaron Delgado.
Well, we don't.
He pulled a Jussie Smollett by filing a police report about something he himself staged. Once this was all revealed, Aaron Delgado said that he planned to file a lawsuit with Michael Avenatti representing him. A day after returning from Minneapolis, Jacob Wall was banned on Twitter on
man, they got him.
2019, following
Aaron Delgado strikes again.
In which he admitted that he planned to create deceptive Twitter accounts to, quote, steer the left-wing votes in the primaries to what we feel are weaker candidates compared to Trump.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any data on why Jacob Wall was recently banned. Do you have that?
I believe.
Who is Jacob Wall?
This is a gentleman that was in the USA Today article where he admitted that he was going to, he had used tactics in the past to influence the election, and he will continue to do so using all of his
channels. You ever tried DMT though?
So when we saw that report, our team looked at his account. We noticed there were multiple accounts tied to his account, so fake accounts that he had created that were discussing political issues and pretending to be other people.
Shavs Media Productions and Prime Richter.
How do you respond to Twitter's permanent ban?
This could not have happened at a better time. Jacob Wohl is #1 trending on Twitter right now.
Is he?
And
oh my God.
I'm promoting a press conference, and now people are going to go to that press conference, and it's going to be even bigger and better than we even thought. I mean, it's going to be brimming over with people. The halls of Congress are going to be rocked by what we're going to release on Thursday. It will be #1 trending on Twitter.
Let's go!
In Minneapolis, they flew to Washington, D.C. to attend CPAC. Once there, Jacob Wohl, Laura Loomer, and Jack Berkman held a presser where they spoke about their investigation of Ilhan Omar to a gaggle of journalists and social media personalities. And like all of their press conferences, it was an absurd mess.
Well, one last thing. The reason why I'm wearing this hat today is because both Jacob Wohl and I have been permanently banned from Twitter after posting our investigative findings about Ilhan Omar. So I am demanding that Jack Dorsey immediately reinstate the Twitter accounts of both myself and Jacob Wohl. Not only Twitter,
should be saying thank you for getting banned, honestly.
By PayPal, by Venmo, by GoFundMe, by Twitter, by Medium. And just last week, I was in a cab and Chase deactivated all my cards and they closed my bank account temporarily.
Twitter HQ.
Yes, I plan on doing a lot of things. A lot of these big tech executives are going to be getting Loomered soon, so you'll just have to stay tuned.
Did they get Loomered?
As you know, my protest.
Hold on, let me see. Is Twitter in shambles after the Loomer? It's like a natural disaster. Most recent thing about her is she says she has a brutal case of COVID. That was in September of 2021. That's the last time she's been heard from. Far be it from me to question it, but it looks like Laura got Loomered. Unfortunate. That must have just been one of those big schemes from Jack, the Twitter CEO. Fucking planted it in her so he could avoid the Loomer.
I out-trended the President of the United States and Putin, so you can expect a lot more of this.
And Loomered is now a verb. I would point out Webster's has taken it as a verb.
Yes.
Jacob's next attempt to create a stir was on April 16th, 2019, when he and Jack Berkman held a press conference at their headquarters, 1599, which is Jack Berkman's Arlington, Virginia home. They promised to expose the largest scandal in NCAA history. Only 2 reporters attended the press conference. One of them, Dave McKenna, wrote an article titled, "Jacob Wohl and Jack Berkman wasted my time, but on the bright side, they wasted theirs too."
Cool title, actually.
During the presser, Wohl and Berkman spoke of corruption in college basketball and claimed that Adidas was operating an underground criminal operation which bribed and intimidated college athletes. Jacob Wohl said, quote, "What Adidas has is, at the localized level, a network of thugs, in most cases current and former gang members, who they use to go and menace families and coerce them into doing whatever Adidas wants them to.
Why Adidas now? Did he get like a bad pair of sneakers?
And anyway,
Why is this happening?
It ended up being a nothing burger compared to the subsequent press conference, which took place only a few days later.
Now to a story making national headlines. Tonight we're talking to the Ferris State University student in the middle of a claim that he was sexually assaulted by a Democratic presidential challenger, who now says it was all made up.
In early April 2019,
Jacob
Wohl befriended one of his fans on Instagram. Hunter Kelly had previously interacted with Jacob's Instagram posts, and one day he was surprised to find that Jacob followed him back. That same day, Jacob DM'd him a question. "Do you want to be part of a political operation?" Hunter Kelly said yes.
It's like the Avengers coming together.
Jacob bought him a plane ticket to Baltimore. Once Kelly landed in Baltimore, he was greeted by Wohl and Berkman, who drove him to Jack Berkman's house. It was a draft of a statement that said the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, sexually assaulted Kelly in February in a hotel in Washington, D.C. Hunter Kelly was under the impression that he was flown out to talk about how he, as a gay Republican, could help Donald Trump win the 2020 election, to smear Pete Buttigieg.
Which is so much cooler. He should be honored.
Although Hunter Kelly,
I don't think they go hard enough.
The plan,
they haven't even mentioned like
had already written
extraterrestrials.
a fake Medium post under his name, alleging that Pete Buttigieg sexually assaulted him. They also created a fake Twitter account impersonating him and used it to share the Medium article. That same day, Pete Buttigieg was asked about the allegations during a Q&A. Said, "Oh, I'm sure it's not the first time somebody's going to make something up about me. Politics can be ugly sometimes, but you have to face that when you're in presidential politics." The article generated a lot of interest and buzz. However, most were skeptical. Some pinpointed it as being the machinations of Wohl and Berkman. Hunter Kelly claimed that when he confronted them for posting the allegation under his name, Berkman tried to sue them by telling him that he had become a star and that people were eating him up. He promised Kelly that his involvement in the scheme would lead to a lavish lifestyle.
Oh, wow.
According to Kelly,
$1 million.
he even promised to buy him any house that he wanted. They spent the day trying to convince him to go through with the scheme. They got him a haircut, a caramel frappuccino, and a Subway sandwich. Still, he wanted to back out. When he expressed that,
what, after a Subway sandwich?
Leaving was not an option.
What?
Kelly
Are you serious?
Said that they pressured him to sign the statement.
Why would you leave?
And after what he described as 45 minutes of coercion, he finally did. Hours later, Kelly denounced the Buttigieg allegations on his Facebook account, writing, "It's important for everyone to know that I was not sexually assaulted and would never falsely accuse anyone. To keep it brief for now, I was approached by a political figure to come to DC to discuss political situations from the standpoint of a gay Republican. When I arrived, they discussed Pete Buttigieg and started talking about how they would be working a campaign against him. I went to bed and woke up to a fake Twitter at Real Hunter Kelly.
How could Real Hunter Kelly be fake?
I in no way endorsed or wrote.
I think this might be the fake Hunter Kelly.
And I'm working on a formal statement to give to everyone, including the Buttigieg family." Kelly told reporters that when he wanted to leave, Wall and Berkman wouldn't let him. So he pretended to fall asleep, packed his things, and called his sister to come get him.
He's now telling these lies. I think it's because people got to him. Maybe it's people in the Democratic Party. Maybe it's his colleagues or friends or family. I don't know who. It's probably Democrats.
On May 8, 2019,
it is shocking how much this guy looks like Papa John Schnatter, just less greasy. They both look so similar to each other. His name's John Schnatter, right? Why isn't it? Oh, what did I do? God damn it! Well, I guess maybe not as close as I thought. Mainly just the eyebrows and the hair. Actually, it's pretty close. Yeah, no, I stick by it. I think he looks quite a bit like John Schnatter.
On May 8, 2019, Wall and Berkman held a presser at 1599 in which they tried to prove that allegations were true and that Hunter Kelly was scared off by outside pressure.
One thing that he received throughout the day was any number of threatening calls. We could hear them on speakerphone. We don't know who they were from.
Who's that on the TV?
Idea, but there were a lot of people calling him, trying to talk him out of telling his truth. And that went on all day long.
Hey, garbage man, stop and listen.
That no one was coerced, no one was even so much as encouraged to take any particular action, and we're going to lay that all out in a series of tapes. And this is a video that we feel speaks and says a lot. You're going to see, and this is just a minor detail.
What the fuck is happening?
Caramel frappuccino in front of him on the table.
He does?
Now,
confirmed?
He had come with us earlier in the day, and he had wanted Starbucks. So we took him to Starbucks right around the corner. We're also working on that tape as well. He walked in, he got his caramel frappuccino.
So I really think the title here, Modern Psychopath, is a super apt description for Jacob Wall. This guy is so fucking goofy. So like the proof that all of it's real is they got him a caramel frappuccino. And he's like, we did film that as well. I'm working on getting that footage so that way you guys know that everything's legitimate here. We got him a caramel frappuccino, which means everything he said is real. Thus, we're fine. It's fucking wild. The guy is so interesting in like the weirdest way, like morbid curiosity. How could someone be so wired incorrectly? Oh yeah, in the subway, which I'm sure is coming up. They'll probably mention the subway in a second.
The type of events that I see involve guns, they involve knives, they don't involve caramel frappuccinos. Jared.
Can I ask about this setup? It's kind of confusing why we're talking up to a balcony and there's the screen here.
Hey, can we get this guy out of here, wise guy? Hey, get him out. Get him out.
It was later revealed that they tried to stage a fake protest of the press conference, but could not drum up enough interest for people to sign up. A reporter named Justin Duckham noticed the event invite page called Protest Against Homophobic Bigots. The reporter then found that the event organizer used the email wallthinktank@gmail.com.
No, we haven't set up any protests. That was internet troll stuff. People set up all kinds of stuff with my email. I get emails from every bizarre subscription service you can imagine with the email address that I put out for the public. And as you can see, there's no protest. If we had put a protest together, there'd be a protest.
There'd be a million people, at least.
Wall and Berkman failed to concoct any major smears for the next 4 months. Instead, news of their behind-the-scenes activities surfaced. The Daily Beast found that Jacob Wall was behind 5 fake intelligence firms, including Surefire Intelligence, which were called Bolt Intelligence, Bolt Intel, Potomac Intelligence, and Arlington.
Let me check the other ones. So Surefire Intelligence website is still up. I'd really like to hire Jacob Wall to investigate some garbage for me. See if he can put together the pieces of a puzzle I set up. Kind of like the Riddler or something from Batman. What was the other one? Bolt Intelligence? That website is down, but their Facebook page still seems to be up. Yeah, I need to hire Surefire Intelligence. I'll put together a little puzzle for them.
By August 19th, 2019, Wall's past scams caught up with him when a warrant was put out for the arrest of himself and his business partner, Matthew Johnson, for their fraudulent activities while operating Montgomery assets. This was
that's
when
what it's
the
called,
Riverside
Montgomery
County District
Assets.
Attorney's Office went after him.
Couldn't remember the name.
I talked about this in part 1, so I'll save you the details. According to him, one photo was in Belarus, and the other one was in Israel. However, someone noticed that he was seated in front of the exact same fence in both photographs.
It's just a very popular
which led to a lot of people mocking him online. On August 23rd, 2019, Jacob defrauded an event organizer by accepting $50,000 to get Donald Trump, Don Jr., and Charlie Kirk to speak at an Indian-American conference. Jacob asked for $100,000 and received half up front.
Oh, wow.
When the event organizer asked for the $50,000 back, Jacob told him that he told his secretary to return the money. Eventually, the event organizer called Jacob's dad, David Wall, who said that he told his son to return the money. Jacob recorded a video of himself calling the bank asking about the transfer, and boy is it a sight to behold.
I just wanted to
I'm sure it is.
I just wanted to confirm a wire that was sent. Because one of my clients, we sent him a refund via wire transfer.
Of course, of course.
And he says he still hasn't received it, so...
Yeah, this is outrageous. Can we fix it?
Okay, give me just a moment. Okay, it looks like it has not been worked. Somebody should be reaching out to you to confirm the wire.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
I need it sent. Can they reach out?
You imbeciles! This is Jacob fucking Wool.
We're going along as they're coming in, so we do have an hour and a half to work on it.
And, okay, well, they're going to call me soon to confirm it and then send it out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, listen, I don't mean to sound angry at you. I don't mean to sound angry at you. It's just, you know, it's been a massive trouble for me.
But you are a problem, ma'am. You fucked me.
All right, thanks.
You fucked me.
Please, if you can expedite that, please do. Please do. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
In the end, Jacob only returned $30,000 of the $50,000 he owed. In late September of 2019, an unnamed member of the U.S. intelligence community released a complaint about an attempted cover-up of a call between Donald Trump and the president of Ukraine, in which Trump requested that he investigate Joe and Hunter Biden. The leaker was dubbed the Ukrainian whistleblower. On September 26, 2019, Jack Berkman offered $50,000 to anyone who could conclusively provide the identity of the whistleblower. Unsurprisingly, the press conference ended up being a total waste of time.
Now, many people have called us hit job artists, smear artists, things like this.
How dare they?
This is true.
I know you don't think so, but what we do is thoroughly apolitical and fact-based. I know you don't think so, but it's the truth.
Wally Berkman claimed that they couldn't release the name of the whistleblower until they were able to review the legalities of doing so with their lawyers.
Out of due deference to our government, we have a lawyer reviewing this before we release the name.
Why do a press conference then?
We cannot release it today because we have been asked not to do so, and of course we will defer to the government if they feel there are national security or other concerns. So we have a lawyer reviewing those laws as we speak.
Then they said that they would release the name within 24 hours.
No, what? Who was it? Was it the Hamburglar?
Now it's this. What's next?
Let me ask you a question. Don't you think this is a noble initiative to force the name of the whistleblower out? Do you really like, you in the media, do you really like this kind of clandestine government and clandestine society?
Oh, good word.
All of this is being done in darkness. That's not a good situation.
Do you?
Star Chamber.
Huh? Big guy, huh? You like that? You just got that Jack Berkman beatdown, bitch.
2 days later, they held another press conference. This time, they claimed that Elizabeth Warren had an affair with a former Marine named Kelvin Willey. I talked about this press conference in part 1.
Yes,
Kelvin Willey claimed to be a male escort working for an agency called Cowboys for Angels. Kelvin Willey also claimed that he served in Afghanistan and that he was a recipient of a Purple Heart.
He's also a Triple X.
By the Daily Beast showed that although he was in the Marines from 2014 to 2016, he was never deployed to Afghanistan, nor did he receive a Purple Heart.
In Prime Burger and Ryujin.
Describe your service in Afghanistan.
So my service in Afghanistan, it was very early in my Marine Corps time of just getting into my unit. 2012. Unit stationed in Hawaii.
No, what unit? What unit?
1-3. 1-3. The rest you can look.
That's the most elite unit in the
Let me just tell you
Marines.
one thing. When it comes to honoring service
Holy
here,
fuck, he's a super soldier.
we don't play around. And if you're going to keep impugning this serviceman's service, fighting the Taliban in Afghanistan, then you're going to leave.
Elizabeth Warren responded to the smear attempt by tweeting a picture of a mascot from her alma mater.
It's like an anime.
Go Cougars in the
I love
caption.
that. I'm part of Marine Corps 1-3. We took down Osama bin Laden
who
and God.
Elizabeth Warren of partaking in like this weird sex scandal thing, and he claimed that she was whipped, that he whipped her, and all this stuff. When claims that he met Elizabeth Warren on this site
Tier 1 Killer
Cowboys
Pickle,
for Angels,
Weeb, and Ash.
And it's like this
The 5 gives
this
subs
kind of
Weeb.
like
Thank you,
weird
Weeb.
dating site. And
Appreciate it,
they
man.
met on there, and they hung out at this like DC hotel, and ended up having like sex and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Long story short, he claims that Elizabeth
Very important. Stop it, damn it.
this big scar.
You'll notice he is also Xander Cage from XXX. Just want to point that out. I think it's very important to the story. So not only is he part of the Marine Corps Elite Division 1-3 Super Soldier Secret Space Program team, he is also part of the XXX program. So just keep that in mind.
On his back.
This guy's serious business.
And of course, it all backfires.
Any different than what Trump did?
Well, I'll tell you what the difference is. I'll tell you what the difference is. The difference is very
Tell
clear.
him. Tell me.
Trump is a peak alpha male.
Oh.
And so...
And you're not? What do you mean? You're a peak alpha male, too.
When you look at President Trump, him engaging in an extramarital affair, if that's even true, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Would be understandable, would be normal, would be average. But when you look at Elizabeth Warren, you're talking about a very frail, very old woman who's going to be hormonally challenged as it relates to the.
On the
Hey, Jack, take it away. Clandestine.
Wall celebrated his victory. He once again got the attention he so desperately desired. Baked Alaska congratulated him for trending on Twitter.
Oh, I actually totally forgot about that guy. Isn't he in jail? Or is he dead? It was something.
A few days later, Jacob's name was mentioned.
What happened to him, actually? He's either in jail or dead, and I can't remember which one it was. Keep getting the food. What was his actual name? It's jail? Okay, I'll just trust chat on that. It's one of the two. I just can't remember which one it was.
Wall and Berkman found Newaldis on Craigslist, where they posted a job offer for a male actor in his 20s to early 30s. Newaldis believed that he was participating in a show being developed by the defunct channel Spike TV. Newaldis also thought that the press conference was performance art, that the people who attended it were actors, and claimed that he didn't know who Kamala Harris was.
True.
Of all the pressers that Wall and Berkman have held, this one's my favorite due to how truly absurd it is. It starts off with a rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner that's an absolute banger.
Join us in the singing of our national anthem. We give Miss Kylie Andrews joins us today.
Take it away, Kylie. Voice of an angel.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Following that, a fake reverend, who's also an actor, barely manages to read an opening prayer.
Reverend Daryl Thomas will lead us in a prayer for Kamala Harris. A prayer for Kamala Harris.
Thanks for some Tim, Morthar, and Wiz.
I would like to issue the following prayer. Sodom and Gomorrah are the surrounding towns that gave themselves up to sexual immortality and perversion. Damn it be the harlot. Damn it be the whore. What? Damn it be the deviant.
What is happening?
For the press conference, and I was like,
Did he read 50 Shades of Grey or a sermon?
Kind of compound, kind of straight up tells me, he's like, oh, I'm getting paid, $200 to give, kind of this prayer. And I was like, oh, so they're paying you. And he's like, I'm like, do you know what's going on here? And then long story short, he had no idea.
Halfway through the press conference, Jacob Wall pretends to be served with a fake cease and desist order from Kamala Harris.
Needs and desires. Hang on. What is this? What's going on here? What's going on here?
He's like the WWE of politics.
What is this?
He should stone cold stunner him. Cease and desist.
Not
on my watch.
Hang on. We've been served
from the outset. Hey, Jack.
Hey, get the fuck off stage. Hey,
to the Kamala Harris 2020 campaign. We will not be intimidated. This is a cease and desist, and she's asking us to cease and desist. Let me say loud and clear.
What does Vince McMahon think, though? Yeah, you're right.
We will get the truth out. The truth will come out.
So yeah, it was a big, glorious mess.
Fuck!
Jacob at the
damn you, Harris!
Had taken a
shutting him down.
Like that, he turns the water on and then had a so that it would be ready to shoot. Like it was one of those a hose with at the end like a pistol thing.
I think he's having it available so he can shoot water at people, right? So
why?
As soon as they handed out the press release, I kind of snuck behind their little car here and turned off their hose.
He turned the water on and had it available there so he could spray people if they were bothering him. And at one point he actually tried to do that. I think they threw a donut at him or something, and he was like, "That's it, I'm gonna get the hose."
I can't hear you. You got to tell this guy to stop, or I'm gonna spray him.
No, don't. Hey, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's been brainwashed. Don't do it, Wall.
And then I think he tried to spray it, but someone had turned the water off before, so it wouldn't work if he tried. And that seemed to have been effective.
Here, we demand a polygraph. And
oh, fuck, now you've done it.
Polygrapher. Pick her. No, don't do that.
Once Nawaldis realized what he participated in, he recorded a video explaining how he was duped. They held another one with the formerly gay and now totally straight media personality, Milo Yiannopoulos.
Damn, there's a name I haven't heard in
2-for-1 special. Ted Cruz is a swinger, and Nancy Pelosi is a drug addict. The video of the press conference is almost unwatchable because a member of the crowd blares an air horn throughout the whole thing.
And if you are a candidate in any party,
someone's playing the banjo.
You come here to us. You come here to us. And you get those rumors. If you don't come to us, you will not run.
Also, at one point, someone starts chucking donuts at Jacob Wall.
Was wearing. We've mentioned multiple things in the past.
This is the best goddamn press conference I've ever seen in my fucking life.
The crowd was so unruly that Arlington County Police showed up after receiving an
and they started throwing donuts at Jacob.
That her name was Kay Feller talked about an alleged affair.
Just in case for anyone that didn't catch the first part of the lore, this guy's supposed to be security. Why not start catching the donuts? Fucking slapping him down. Hey, stop it! Get out of the way! I'm saving Wall. He just sits there. They pay him to do nothing. I'm pretty sure he's a Craigslist actor as well, and he just got a reoccurring gig. This guy is the true winner here. He gets paid just to hang out and have some fun. No one's ever thrown donuts at Lewis. His name's Lewis. Fucking awesome. It is actually WWE shit. This is fucking fantastic.
She had with Senator Ted Cruz, which included details of several encounters at swinger parties.
On March 17th,
also, the whole setup reminds me of Stoop Kid from Hey Arnold.
Swingers party.
It was later discovered that Kay Feller's name was actually Kylie Garcia Andrews, and
that
she was the same woman who sang the national anthem at the Kamala Harris press conference, which was held only 11 days prior. She wore sunglasses as a disguise, and when someone asked why she was wearing them, Jacob claimed that she had glaucoma.
Why is your witness here or your accuser wearing glasses?
I'll tell you exactly why. It's because she's got glaucoma. Now we'd respect if you would show a little bit of reverence to her health issue. It's something that happens.
Kylie Garcia Andrews was
good donut toss.
All hired off of Craigslist. He told her that she was participating in a political satire reality TV show for Spike TV. Throughout the event, Milo Yiannopoulos
I could totally believe that too.
And smoking cigarettes while fiddling with his cell phone. He remained mostly silent, but when he finally spoke, this is what he had to say.
Why are you a pedophile?
Well, as you know, it's been a challenging year or two for me, and unfortunately, I've fallen so far, so hard, that I've now been reduced to my previous career.
Is that Gilbert Gottfried hustling him in the back, heckling?
Stylist.
A week later, Jacob gloated on Instagram that he hit the trending tab 9 times in 1 year, stating, "I promise you, no one else in politics has more fun than I do." On December 13th, 2019,
fucking true, honestly. These press conferences are lit.
Photos that showed United States representatives.
I wish he wasn't going to jail for 20 years.
Fuck,
these are awesome.
DNC donor Ed Buck and a naked black man. Ed Buck was a businessman and political fundraiser for the Democratic National Committee. In 2019, he was arrested after a man legally overdosed in his apartment. It was later discovered that Ed Buck injected him with methamphetamine. Another man died in a similar fashion in 2017. A third man overdosed after being injected by Buck, but survived. So Berkman used this horrific story to smear Adam Schiff. Jack Berkman tweeted, quote, "The salacious photos of Adam Schiff recovered during the federal raids on Ed Buck's drug dens appear to have been taken surreptitiously, according to several congressional staffers who've seen the photos. In other words, this may have been an Epstein situation." Wally Berkman teased the photos for weeks.
I'm a Jack from Pittsburgh. We've never had you, though, Jack. Welcome. There's another Jack. I'm a Jack from Pittsburgh originally. Jack,
what a weird way of talking.
Will release tomorrow the Adam Schiff pictures. What is this all about? Well, pictures that were seized in an FBI raid. Adam Schiff took a lot of money from Ed Buck. Buck raised
how much money
for years. And now we have compromising pictures that have been given to us of Schiff in Buck's drug den. Can you believe it? Now, Kevin McCarthy, House Republican leadership, also has these pictures.
This has to be satire. I know, right? But it's not.
Release them. He's our House Republican colleague. We want to give him a chance. He's concealing them. Kevin, if you don't, we will. 12:01 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday.
First, they put out an obviously photoshopped image of Adam Schiff sitting with Ed Buck. Then, after much hype, Jack Berkman finally released the salacious photos, and someone was able to find that they were just blurry screenshots taken from gay porn. In 2018, Mark Tolson, a 60-year-old...
How do we know the origin wasn't
illegally accessed Jack Berkman's emails. He was able to do so because his wife worked for Jack Berkman and knew the password to Berkman's account. Tolson and his wife collected emails of interest. Mark Tolson took a plea deal, which required him to turn over 2 personal phones and 2 personal computers. Tolson was sentenced to 7 days
not being able to talk to Berkman sounds awful.
He claimed that he accessed Jack Berkman's emails in order to protect Robert Mueller from being smeared with false allegations. However, the prosecution noted that Berkman owed Tolson's wife money, and that Tolson had a personal vendetta against him. Tolson's decision to share the documents with a reporter before
this has to be another press conference.
Also raised eyebrows.
Get the banjo out.
Simply wanted to protect Robert Mueller from being smeared, then why run to the press? The press release was clearly fabricated and no one cared. Perhaps because it lacked the salacious elements of their more popular announcements. And in the end, they didn't hold a press conference.
What?
However, a few weeks later, Wall would get the attention he craved once again, albeit inadvertently. On January 3rd, 2020, Wall was mocked on Twitter after he said that he would enlist in the army if Trump attacked Iran. A screenshot of the DM was shared on Twitter, and Jacob Wall once again went trending, which I'm sure he was delighted about.
Thank you, man.
If you're familiar with the name Roger Stone, it should be clear that Jacob Wall tries to emulate him. Roger Stone is a political hatchet man who's been involved in politics since the 1970s. He did lobbying work for the campaigns of former presidents such as Richard Nixon,
Ronald Reagan, and Donald
Trump. A self-described dirty trickster, Roger Stone has been a major force in shaping the conversation surrounding electoral politics in the last 50 years. Roger Stone describes himself as an agent provocateur who is fine with achieving his political goals by utilizing distortions and half-truths. Through his willingness to use dirty tactics,
he has gained press conferences.
As
he
Ed
sucks.
Rollins, a Republican political consultant, said, Roger was always a little rat.
On
January 25th, 2019, Roger Stone's home was raided by the FBI in connection with special counsel Robert Mueller's probe into Russian interference in the 2016 election. A year later, a jury convicted Stone on all counts. He was eventually pardoned by Donald Trump on December 23rd, 2020.
Nice.
Wall and Berkman tried to insert themselves into Roger Stone's trial, first by creating a donation fund, then by releasing sealed jury questionnaire documents. They arrived at...
Is that true? This guy has a giant tattoo of Richard Nixon on his back. Excuse me while I fact check. Oh my god. Oh, I can't. I'm glad I did this on the other monitor, because in the third picture there's Roger Stone being kissed by a woman with her titties out. You are right. I was expecting it to be like a full body yearbook photo, but it's just Richard Nixon's face on his back. Yeah, I can't put it on stream. Imagine Richard Nixon on a really old guy's back, but like Richard Nixon as he appeared in Futurama. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that guy's right. That was not a joke. He does have a Richard Nixon tattoo.
An annual convention organized by the American Conservative Union, and were
Noel
promptly
and
escorted
Rasta.
out of the building.
Hey, you tricked me! You tricked me, you!
Outside, they held a press conference.
Yes!
Wall and Berkman claimed that the juror documents revealed that the jury was packed with extreme leftists and people with ties to the CIA.
The jury was packed with people that have ties to the CIA. And of course, as
Men
you
in
look
Black.
through these jury questionnaires, what I would point
Secret
out
Space Program?
is there's not a single person in this jury that says they watch Fox News. All of these people say that they're religious Rachel Maddow viewers, that they're religious Chris Hayes viewers, that they are religious followers
of Russiagate conspiracy theory.
Where's the banjo guy?
During all of this, Jack and Jacob have an event where they release the jury questionnaires, which are confidential materials that are meant to prove on their behalf that somehow these jurors are irredeemably biased.
Yeah, I know about the Killer Bean game.
Now, what these work out to basically are just jurors who say, like, I watch MSNBC and stuff. I mean, this is not really, like, groundbreaking stuff.
So even though Wall and Berkman finally managed to get their hands on legitimate documents, they failed to do anything with their scoop other than wildly exaggerate its contents and make baseless claims.
But they had another great press conference, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Wall and Berkman
fucking
for
slapped
potential
again.
Witness harassment, criminal contempt, and obstruction of justice for releasing the confidential juror questionnaires.
But apparently it catches the attention of the FBI because these materials are supposed to be
Tier 1 art.
And Jack and Jacob must have gotten them somehow. And essentially there's an ongoing investigation as we talk now into Jack and Jacob over the leak of these materials. Apparently there's some federal prosecutors involved.
Now I think it's important we weigh how awesome their press conferences are.
On them. So
that should play a role here.
You know, it's potentially legally a very serious situation for them.
I agree, it could be legally devastating, but
investigated by the FBI.
Let's just remember the press
The
conference.
first investigation took place during the
Or make
Robert
any
Mueller
rash
smear.
decisions.
Before you started, but you are releasing the names of all 12 jurors.
That's right. The names of all the jurors are here. Make no mistake.
Speaking, right?
And their information, their full questionnaires.
Only 2 of them have actually put their names out to the public. So you're basically how the public is going to have the rest of them. How do you see that ethically? Generally, people consider it unethical for journalists, etc.
With the ethics, I'm not a philosopher. I don't comment on ethics. I can comment on legality. I'm a lawyer. There's nothing illegal about it in any way.
Sometime in April 2020, Jacob Wall made an OnlyFans account.
Oh!
The guys who run the podcast, yeah, but still, paid for it and said that it was just full of shirtless photos of Jacob. Why someone would pay $50 for that, other than as a joke, is beyond my comprehension. Although there are people like Brad Palumbo who wrote an article called "It's Okay to Admit That Jacob Wall is Extremely Attractive," so I guess he does have some admirers. A few months after launching his OnlyFans account, he made a video called "My 7 Months Not Natural Transformation," in which he explained how steroids helped him sculpt his newly acquired physique. It was around this time that he started to sell a fitness course.
People look at this photo and I still get the messages and they say, steroids! Steroids, you did steroids. Well, yeah, I did. You bet.
Wall and Berkman's next smear
Fuck
attempt
yeah,
was
and I'll
against
do it
Dr.
again.
Anthony Fauci. Jacob's
Tune into
girlfriend
my
at the
next
time,
press conference.
Diana Andrade, emailed a number of journalists a fake story about being sexually assaulted by Fauci in 2014. It's startling how similar this smear attempt was to the Robert Mueller smear. First, a press release was sent to journalists announcing a presser in which Diana Andrade would speak about her sexual assault by Fauci. Reporters at the Daily Dot looked into her fake law firm and couldn't find proof that it existed.
Oh, it probably did.
Confirmed that she worked at the company she
I don't
had
doubt
listed
it.
on her LinkedIn account
Jacob Wall's
as her
reliable.
former employers.
I think he'd
Moreover, they ran her profile picture through a website called Have They Faked Me, which showed that the photo was likely an AI-generated image. When the Daily Dot reached out to Wall, he told them that he had nothing to do with the Fauci accuser. Despite that, he and Jack Berkman showed up on the day of the press conference, which was organized as a conference call between themselves and journalists. When they arrived, they stated that they were asked to participate due to them being, quote, preeminent subject matter experts in the field of Me Too. 10 days later, Andrade fessed up to lying about the sexual assault and accepting money from Wall and Berkman to do so. She recorded a phone call which is quite revealing in showing how the duo pressures people to participate in their smears.
Well, I actually want to talk to you guys because I'm kind of like paranoid and dealing with a lot of emotions, and I want you guys to
Yeah, Jacob Wall will do that. He'll do that too.
Everything's fine. But I don't think it is. So
what could be wrong, Diana? What could be wrong? I mean, you know, I think everything's just fine. You did the job. You did a good job. You got paid. What's the problem? What seems to be the issue? You're freaking out. You're texting me late at night. What's the issue?
Don't know what to do with all this cash. I mean, someone told me. I mean, you guys told me I was gonna get a wire transfer, and I didn't get a wire transfer.
Well, it's on its way.
Cash,
like it's coming.
Like I can't walk into a bank with this, especially during these times. What am I gonna say? Where did I get this money from? They're gonna think I'm like
you don't go to the ATM for 2 years. Just keep the money. You don't have to deposit it. Just keep it. Go to an ATM for 2 years. That's all.
Well, even if I was to distribute this or find a way to get rid of it or keep it safe, I mean, I still feel like, you know, I kind of just want to give it back, and actually I don't know what to do because...
Okay, so you have the cash. The deal. We did what we did. I don't understand what
I just feel like I don't think this was the right thing to do because I'm looking.
How dumb is this guy?
His statements.
Oh my God!
I wanted to become a doctor as well. You know, you guys know this. I was studying biochemistry. And
so listen, okay, shut the fuck up. You know that we're evil, and you know that we faked all these stories, and we paid you for it.
Just trying to
What's the problem?
Destroy him, like bring him down, and have all these accusations. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. You know, just trying to save people's lives.
When you deal with a man, this guy shut the country down. He put 40 million people out of work. In a situation like that, you have to make up whatever you have to make up to stop that train. And that's the way life works, okay? That's the way it goes.
I feel like you are not.
This is the dumbest man. Science. Holy shit.
You know, I don't think you guys think this thing is.
Viruses like this happen for a reason, okay?
Huge deal. I mean, I don't even think you guys think it's the real virus. I think you guys think it's like something made up, and it's not.
Look, here's the thing. Mother Nature has to clean the barn every so often. I mean, you know, I don't see anything. Whether how real it is, who knows? But you know, so what if 1% of the population goes? You know, so what if you lose 400,000 people? 200,000 of them are elderly. The other 200,000 are the bottom of society. You got to clean the barn.
So what?
If it's real, it's a positive thing, for God's sakes. You were readily...
Is this this is an actual living, breathing human being. He is on this call admitting to so many crimes with like the whole fake story and everything which he's been outed for like his whole career. And he's still just going on and on and on. It's a full-blown supervillain monologue without the slightest inkling of suspicion, despite the fact that this girl is being really obvious with what she's saying. Like, I feel like most people would be like, it's a pretty leading thing to say. Is she trying to get me to openly admit to this actual crime? Might as well do it just in case. I'll admit to it and we'll see what happens. It's fucking crazy. Like, I thought for like 1 second that maybe Jack was some kind of fucking crazy performance artist who would just go along with these press conferences as some kind of long-form comedic joke. Because he was the only one that was constantly laughing at Jacob on stage while getting pelted with donuts. So I thought, maybe there's that chance, right? But holy shit. Jacob, completely hopeless. The only thing he has left is his OnlyFans.
And now we're done. That's all.
I think we should fall out.
Look, we're one and done, okay? So you made up a story. So what? You got paid for it. Who cares? You
he just keeps referencing it.
And that's it. That's all there is. Don't talk to anyone about this. Not your parents, not anyone. And it'll be fine.
Okay. And is Dr. Fauci fine? I mean, is everything going to be fine with him?
Hell with him. Don't worry. Hell with him. So what? So what? You made up a story. Grow up, for Christ's sake. I mean, Jesus Christ. Come on now.
Sometime later, Walt Berkman and Diana Andrade called into a radio show, and it's a fascinating listen.
None other than Jacob Wall joining us right now on the line.
Easy Tier 1 Apotheosis.
Coming on. How are you?
Hey, Pandi.
Yeah, I'm here, guys, and it's great to join you on the show. And also with me, I thought it would be great. I have Jack Berkman as well, and I have Diana, the girl who yesterday blew the whistle. She joins us here on the phone as well.
Diana, I appreciate you coming on. I guess I will start with you. All the reports came out yesterday that you claim that you were paid by Jacob Wall to lie and say that Dr. Fauci sexually assaulted you. Why did you say that, and what can you tell us about it?
Chief?
No, I did not say this. I did not say this, and this didn't happen.
So you were not sexually assaulted?
No.
So how are you connected to Jacob Wall then and Jack Berkman? I'm completely confused because all the reports that came out in the last several days.
I'm also mildly perplexed.
All the reports that came out yesterday are claiming that you were told that you were paid to smear Dr. Fauci.
No, that makes no sense.
And now you're telling me that this sexual assault never happened in the first
signed up
place,
to Jacob Wall's OnlyFans.
And what's the truth here?
I was paid to lie, but I didn't lie.
Oh.
So who paid you to lie?
Oh, right.
I'm not sure.
Ma'am, with all due respect, you're telling me you were told to lie, and you can't tell us on live radio now who told you to lie? Ma'am, that makes no sense.
No, it was like a man in a hood.
Told me to lie.
I want to go to Jacob. Right
he kept saying like,
Jacob, Now you
Anakin,
hold on. Now you have
Misa, no
right
thank
now.
you. Oh, Jar Jar.
Who
Binks,
says
fuck,
you
that's who it was.
told her to lie and you paid her to smear Dr. Fauci. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, she did not say that I paid her. First of all, she did not say that.
She just said that. That's not true. She just said that. Jacob, with all due respect,
she didn't. And I'm sure
just said you told her to lie. Okay, well, let's ask her then. Who paid you? Who paid you? Ma'am, with all due respect, who paid you?
I didn't know the guy. He came somewhere and, you know.
But you brought up Jacob's name.
He was wearing sunglasses and a suit, had a briefcase. DB Cooper, I think.
He gave you a script.
Jacob told me to lie.
Okay, Jacob, why are you telling her to lie?
Well, I disagree with her characterization, and I will tell you that.
You disagree with characterization?
From the very beginning, we're concerned with the truth and only the truth. That's what
she just said. You told her to lie. Jacob, I like it.
And Brian, keep in mind that.
Listen, Jacob, look, you're a funny guy. You're well-spoken. I appreciate you guys coming.
Well-spoken.
You expect this woman to get on the line right now and basically call you a liar because that's what she just did.
Well, I don't know if that's what she said, but I'm glad that.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second, Jacob. I'm sorry to interrupt you. See, when you say stuff like that, you lose credibility. She just called you a liar 5 minutes ago. She just said, "quote Jacob told me to lie," and then you say, "Well, I don't know if that's what she said." I'm sorry, I have to hold you to account. That's exactly what she said. Why can't you answer?
That's not what she said. She didn't say that. She didn't say that. Well, it's up to debate. Up for debate.
I don't agree with that characterization. I don't think that's really what she said. I think
on June
no, it's up for debate. When she actually the line was spotty. We were going through a tunnel. No one knows what she said.
They would assemble 800 attack dogs for defense of the suburbs. Of course, that never happened.
You are ordered to disperse. Go home, dude. Vicious dogs are on the way. Donald Trump is your president.
On July 2nd, 2020, Wall and Berkman held a press conference claiming that they were paid $20,000 to defend Ghislaine Maxwell, which turned out to be another lie.
No, that was probably real.
There is no person that walks the earth today that is a bigger victim of Jeffrey Epstein's than Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh my.
What you have is a number of allegations against Jeffrey Epstein, against Ghislaine Maxwell, and what we now know is that the group of people that have brought these
they did upgrade their security more than just Lewis now.
One might just say that it's a sea of whores.
On September 14th, 2020, they faked an FBI raid on Jack Berkman's house. Turns out that they hired actors off of Craigslist to pose as FBI agents. Why they did this? Again, who knows? Jacob Wall got punched at a Ruth Bader Ginsburg morning event.
And he ate that punch like a man. Dude probably broke his fist on his teeth. Because he's a fucking man.
The next day, he went on social media to whine about it a lot. On August 3rd, 2020, Merritt Corrigan, a former deputy White House liaison for the U.S. Agency of International Development, was fired after she posted homophobic tweets. The media has attacked me for my Christian beliefs, which are shared by the majority of Americans. Let me be clear. Gay marriage isn't marriage. Men aren't women. The United States is losing ground in the battle to garner influence through humanitarian aid because we now refuse to help countries who don't celebrate sexual deviancy. Meanwhile, Russia and China are happy to step in and eat our lunch. And again, in another tweet, she wrote, I watched with horror this week as USAID distributed taxpayer-funded documents claiming we cannot tell someone's sex or gender by looking at them, and that not calling oneself cisgendered is a microaggression. I'm not cis anything. I'm a woman. Corrigan announced that she would appear at a press conference
Hey, this is that guy that was upset about not being able to fuck an M&M, right?
Anti-Christian sentiment at USAID. Corrigan never attended the press conference. Instead, hours before it was meant to take place, she claimed that Wall and Berkman kidnapped her. She released a statement that said she didn't make the tweets that got her fired, and that Wall and Berkman forcibly took her devices to do so. In response, Wall said in a statement that he and Merritt Corrigan were involved in a, quote, intense sexual relationship. Okay, finally, I'm going to talk about the robocalls.
Mail-in voting sounds great, but did you know that if you vote by mail, your personal information will be part of a public database
Bahar in the prime acid
departments to track down old warrants can be used by credit card companies to collect outstanding debt. The CDC is even pushing to use records for mail-in voting to track people for mandatory vaccines.
The robocall stated that mail-in voting would be used by police departments to track down old warrants, as well as by debt collectors, and by the CDC to track down people.
So this is why they're facing 20 years then, huh?
In Michigan, the Attorney General filed several charges against Wall and Berkman for disseminating the robocalls. On October 8th, 2020, the duo turned themselves in to the Detroit Detention Center. They arrived with a camera crew and smiled in their mugshots.
Aww.
Their bond was set at $100,000.
So sweet, they look so innocent.
They were sued in New York by the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation, who argued that they violated the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871. They pleaded not guilty, but a verdict has yet to be made. Okay, so that's about...
Can they still do press conferences in jail, though?
Done. The only thing I haven't really covered was their latest press conference on Matt Gaetz and Rudy Giuliani, but it's not very interesting.
Oh.
There was no substance to the allegations, but the press conference itself was sort of entertaining since Zach Petrizzo and Ford Fisher constantly called Wall and Berkman out on their bullshit. Sorry this took so long to finish. This was a hell of a chore. I am really happy that I am finished covering these guys. If you've been following me on Twitter,
God, another banger.
I'm complaining about it a whole lot. So, if you like
part 2 is even better than part 1.
I would like to hire a team of people to help me put these things out faster. By the way, I also have a movie podcast now, which I started with my good friend, The Kino Corner, and it's called The Kino Corner.
Holy shit, did he actually interview Walt?
On like Jared Gilman, who stars in the movie Moonrise Kingdom. So check that out if you're interested. And until next time. That's all you need to know now.
God, that was good. Those press conferences, man, are so fucking amazing. Oh, it just kept getting better and better. They need to bring that banjo guy pretty much everywhere. I'm surprised the banjo guy wasn't there at their court dates. Yeah, Oki never misses, man. Oki makes so many good videos. This meet up at Calvin's. This? I'm excited to see the Siren community. Thanks, resub Spicy.
You seriously pre-recorded that?
What was it? Oh, I'm just gonna get DMCA'd. I thought it was just gonna be like police sirens and shit. The only world record that cannot be broken. Is this about the fastest land speed? Or is it gonna be something real cheeky where like world record set by some kind of crazy death? So you can't like repeat that death. Nope, something entirely different. This video popped the fuck off. 11 million views in 11 days. This must be a crazy record.
It's July 20th of 1984. On a warm summer day in Berlin, Germany, one athlete would set a world record that was so unbelievable that the actual rules in this event would forever change.
Oh.
In
That's kind of cheating.
Javelin, Uwe Hohn from Germany set an unprecedented world record, throwing the javelin 104.80 meters, breaking the previous world record by just over 5 meters, which translates to just over 16 feet of 4.9%, which to this day places this moment as the second greatest world record improvement in any event in history, only falling behind the great Bob Beeman's long jump from the 1960 Games. To say
Holy
that this
shit.
throw was unparalleled would still be an
Try to
understatement,
break it?
with
I
a
could probably
powerful
break it,
run-up,
but I
a
won't, out of
perfect
respect
angle
for
of
him.
release, and one of the fastest follow-throughs that you'll ever see in any throwing discipline. And even in the eyes of the announcers at the time, they already understood that this world record just might stand forever.
Here's a record that may never be broken. Uwe Hohn of East Germany shatters American Tom Petronov's world record by over 16 feet. 343 feet, 10 inches. Watch where it lands, just inside the stadium.
What world record would you like to break?
Will most assuredly be increased.
Bro, I don't know. Probably something useful, I guess. Richest man
This
in
really
history.
was a moment of pure athletics perfection. And if we fast forward some 38 years later, this world record still stands. However, this incredible record stands for a rather unique reason, which is much different from any other world record throughout track and field history.
Well, yeah, if the sport changed its rules and you
Soon
actually
after
can't
Hohn's
break
throw
it.
Now, contrary to popular belief, Hohn's throw wasn't the only reason why this change was implemented.
Even
before this amazing world record was achieved, track and field's governing body had already been discussing moving the javelin's center of mass forward by 4 centimeters.
There's going to be some changes in this event.
What would you do with the money? I have so many ideas on what I'd do with like $1 trillion.
Tom Petranoff of the United States threw it 327 feet. Then last year, Hahn from East Germany threw it over 340 feet. Well, the IAAF is afraid they're going to throw it right out of the stadium, so they decided to change the javelin. Now, this is...
See, so this is kind of cheeky then. They can't break the record because they changed the sport as a result.
In the javelin, and they've made the tail thicker, so it won't go as far.
These changes had been a part of regular discussion even before this 100-meter plus world record was set. However, after this world record, the process of change was quickly implemented into practice, making Hohn's world record throw a landmark moment in track and field history. The closest that any athlete has gotten with the new version of the javelin was Jan Železny's legendary record of 98.48 meters, which he threw back on May 25th of 1996.
That's pretty close.
Hohn has since become a javelin coach, and just like his previous days of competition, he has also seen worldwide success in this endeavor as well, as his own athlete Neeraj Chopra won the Olympic gold medal in this event in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, winning the javelin with a throw of 87.58 meters.
No, not even 90.
First and only Indian athlete in history to win an Olympic gold medal in track and field.
Those happened? I don't know, man. I don't watch the Olympics. I think the shit's boring.
Uwe Hohn's world record from 1984. Thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, until next time.
Shit's boring without PEDs. That's what we said on the podcast. There should be 2 Olympics. There should be like no PEDs and then an Olympics where we have fucking superhumans. Roided out, juiced out, fucking out of their goddamn mind on meth, and then see what we're capable of. Like, unlock full human potential. I don't know why we don't. That would be really fun to see. You'd be seeing some crazy records. If you put some of the best runners on meth, oh my god. Those times would be nuts. Probably, but would be dangerous for health problems. True, but it's not like being an Olympic athlete is always the best for your health either. You remember that long distance track runner, that girl that went to the Nike camp for the Olympics? They ended up starving her to death. She could never run again, at least not competitively. Well, she didn't die. She didn't. Okay, I was exaggerating. They put her on an extremely strict regimen of not eating, and she suffered a lot of like muscle atrophy as a result, and she wasn't able to compete anymore. There's a whole documentary about it. The Reluctant Master Sasuke. Famous Japanese blacksmith. There's a resub rice ball donut and the Bits Killer Elite. Disagreed. Well, sometimes I guess. This is cute. You should compete on Forged in Fire. I'm convinced people like this are born with talent. That's one thing you have to come to accept. Some people are literally born with talent, and you might not be one of them. Nothing you can do about it. 5, 6, and no. Yeah, so I guess that helps prove my point. That is a really cool set of scissors. Nice. That's wholesome. Making $35,000 bonsai scissors. It's the same guy. He's making fucking bank too. Hey, my man, he's on that Sigma grind. Pound for pound, Bugsy's considered one of the GOATs. I mean, I don't doubt you. But when you say pound for pound, you immediately take it out of like, well, if you take in these other factors that make us able to bring other people down, then we can make an argument. Whereas it's not just like, hey, even by every measurement, he's one of the GOATs. Nah, I don't like Mandela Catalog. I'm not a fan. When's the next tournament for Moisty Esports? Ludwig's. Genesis got pushed back to February, or actually it got pushed back all the way to April, I think. So, next one for Moisty Esports is Ludwig's tournament. It's the online one. When is that? It's the 29th and 30th, right, Lud? Have you seen How to Use a Fleshlight? Tutorial by Sextrovert. I don't know if I've seen it, but I can tell you one thing is I probably can't watch it on Twitch. As much as I'd like to, Allen Iverson was 6 feet. Allen Iverson, to me, is the best basketball player to ever play the fucking game, man. That was the most hype player to watch. I love AI. I still have his shoes from when I was in 4th grade. That shit's probably worth like $20, but I still have that shit. AI was exhilarating. Thanks to Resub Disney. I'm not much of a sports guy anymore, but goddamn. If AI said I'm coming out of retirement and I've been de-aged 15 years for my prime, I'd go back to watching the NBA. Swear to God. That guy was great. Well, I mean, statistically, he's not the best player to ever play the game. He was just my favorite one. I think he is